Chapter 1 of The English Language. This is a LibriVox recording, or LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The English Language by Logan Pearsall Smith. Chapter 1, Part 1. The Origins of the English Language. Among the many living forms of human speech, and those countless others which have arisen and perished in the past, the English language, which is now spread over so large a portion of the world, is as humble and obscure in its origin as any other. It is, of course, in no sense native to England. It was brought thither by the German tribes who conquered the island in the 5th and 6th centuries, and its nearest relations are to be found among the humble dialects of a few barren islands on the German coast. When our Anglo-Saxon ancestors came first to ravage Britain and finally to settle there, they found the island inhabited by a people weaker indeed, but infinitely more civilized than themselves. For several centuries the Celts in England had enjoyed the benefits of Roman government and shared in the civilization of the Roman Empire. They lived in walled cities, worshipped in Christian churches, and spoke, to a certain extent at least, the Latin language. And it is possible, if this Teutonic invasion had never happened, that the inhabitants of England will be now speaking a language descended from Latin, like French or Spanish or Italian. It is true that English has become almost a half-sister to these Romance languages, as they are called, and a large part of its vocabulary is derived from Latin sources. But this is not in any way due to the Roman conquest of Britain, but to later causes. In whatever parts of Britain the Teutonic tribes settled, the Roman civilization and the Roman language perished, and we find at first a purely Germanic race, a group of related tribes speaking dialects of what was substantially the same language, the language which is the parent of our present English speech. This Anglo-Saxon, or as it is now preferably called Old English language, belonged to the great Teutonic family of speech, which in its turn was separated into three main families: East Germanic, now extinct; Scandinavian or Old Norse, from which Icelandic, Danish and Swedish are descended; and West Germanic, from which are derived the two great branches of High and Low German. High German has become the modern literary German, while Low German has split up into a number of different languages: Frisian, Dutch and Flemish. It is to the last of these groups that English belongs, and its nearest relatives are the Frisian dialect, Dutch and Flemish. But the Teutonic tongues themselves form one branch of another great family, the Aryan or Indo-European, which is spread from India in the east to Ireland in the west, and includes Sanskrit, Persian, Greek, Latin, Celtic and several other languages. The grammatical structure of English and German, and a large element of their vocabularies, proves their relationship to these other tongues, though in the course of their wanderings from their primitive home, forms were changed or dropped, and pronunciation of some of the vowels and consonants shifted. Many old words perished, and many new ones were acquired. The study of the relationships between these various languages forms the subject of the science of comparative philology, a science almost entirely based in its turn on what is called phonology, the study of changes in sound and the elaborate laws by which they are governed. It is only indeed since the discovery of these laws that the science of language, or linguistics, has become possible, and it is on the careful and accurate study of sound changes that is founded the modern historical conception of English. Its
Sample complete. Ready to continue?